What if an AI didn't just answer your questions, but actually sat down and thought about them first? What if it could understand your ideas from a messy sketch and then just build an entire app for you? Well, that future, it might be here right now. Google has just dropped Gemini 3.0, and it is aiming to completely redefine what we expect from AI. Look, when the CEO of Google makes a claim this bold, you know it's not just some routine update. This is a statement of intent. Gemini 3.0 is being positioned as a master of not just text, but of understanding images, video, audio, and code, all at the same time. So, what's actually under the hood here? In this explainer, we're going to break down the new architecture and the pretty mind-blowing benchmark scores that set Gemini 3.0 apart from everything that has come before it. So yeah, let's see the numbers. And the numbers show that Gemini 3.0 isn't just winning, it's dominating. It's topping the LMA Arena leaderboard, which, is basically the Olympics for AI models, proving its all-around capability. It's showing PhD-level reasoning on super complex question sets like GPQA Diamond, and just crushing tests that makes text, images, and video, like MMU Pro. This isn't just a jack of all trades, it's really aiming to be a master of them all. And here's where we see the sheer scale of its brain. A 1 million token context window. Okay, so think of a token as basically a piece of a word. This means the model can process the equivalent of 8 full-length novels or 50,000 lines of code all at once. This is an absolute game changer for analyzing huge documents or hours of video in a single go. But raw power is one thing. What about control? Well, Gemini 3.0 gives developers a totally new level of command over how the model actually thinks, letting them fine-tune its performance for very specific needs. At the heart of this control is the thinking level parameter. It's kind of like a focus style for the AI's brain. It doesn't change the information it has, but it tells the AI how deeply it should reason and explore different possibilities before giving you an answer. And here's how that plays out. If you set the thinking level to low, that's perfect for simple tasks where speed and cost are your main concerns. Think basic chatbots or handling a ton of requests. But when you crank it up to high, the model takes its time. It might take a little longer to spit out that first word, but the output is going to be far more carefully reasoned, which makes it ideal for solving really complex scientific or engineering problems. And it doesn't stop there. Developers also get really granular control over media resolution, letting you decide if the AI needs to see every tiny detail in a high-res image or if a quick, lower-res scam of a video is fine. And interestingly, Google is strongly recommending that you keep the temperature or creativity setting at its default. Unlike older models, Gemini 3's reasoning is apparently already optimized right out of the box. Okay, so let's talk about one of the biggest headaches in AI development, memory. Gemini 3.0 introduces a really fascinating solution to help the AI keep its train of thought during complex, multi-step tasks. I mean, think about it. If you ask an AI to do one thing, and then a second thing based on the first result, how does it remember the context from that first step? Without a solid memory, it's like trying to have a conversation with someone who forgets what you just said 3 seconds ago. Let's take a real-world example. Imagine you ask the AI to first check your flight status. It uses a tool and finds out the flight is delayed. Now, you ask it to book a taxi for the new arrival time. To do this correctly, it absolutely must remember the result from that first step. This is where things have traditionally gotten pretty tricky. And this is the solution: thought signatures. You can basically think of these as the AI's short-term memory, or maybe a trail of digital breadcrumbs. Each time the model completes a step, it generates an encrypted signature of its thought process. By passing this signature back in the next request, the model can perfectly recall its previous reasoning, which stops it from getting lost. Now, this might sound incredibly complicated to manage, but here's the good news for developers. If you're using the official Google AI SDKs, this entire process is handled for you, automatically. The system manages the breadcrumbs for you, making sure the model's reasoning stays sharp and consistent without you having to do any extra work. So, with all this power and all this control, how does Gemini 3.0 stack up in the real world, especially against its biggest rival? Let's zoom out and look at the practical choice for creators and developers. Gemini 3 versus the upcoming GPT-5. On the MMLU benchmark, which tests an AI's general knowledge across dozens of subjects, from history to physics, Gemini 3 scores an impressive 90%. This just goes to show its powerful, broad reasoning capabilities, making it a really formidable tool for tasks that require deep understanding. And for creators working with visuals, this is a huge deal. In head-to-head tests, Gemini 3 delivered image and video files about 15% faster than early versions of GPT-5. When you're on a deadline, that speed advantage for creating thumbnails, social media clips, or ad visuals really adds up. But here's the counterpoint. When it comes to coding, GPT-5 demonstrates superior reliability, producing code with about 20% fewer bugs on the first try. For developers building applications, this kind of consistency and reduction in debugging time is absolutely critical. So, what's the takeaway here? Well, the models are really optimized for different strengths. Gemini 3 excels at multimodal tasks, making it a versatile Swiss Army knife for creators, and it might even have a free tier. GPT-5, on the other hand, is built for rock-solid reliability, especially in coding, and it'll likely stick to a subscription model. The right choice really just depends on your specific workflow. The verdict for Gemini 3? It's the perfect co-pilot for the multimodal creator. If you're a YouTuber, a social media manager, or a blogger who's always jumping between writing scripts, designing graphics, and editing short videos, Gemini's flexibility and speed in mixed media tasks make it an ideal all-in-one creative tool. And for GPT-5, it's the specialist's choice. If you're a professional developer, a long-form writer, or anyone who needs rock-solid consistency and reliability for a single high-stakes task like coding an app, then its stability and bug-free performance are probably worth the investment. This brings us to a final, pretty provocative thought. As models like Gemini 3.0 become masters of text, code, image, and video all at once, are we witnessing the end of single-purpose AI tools? It feels like we're shifting from an ecosystem of specialized apps to a new era of powerful all-in-one creative engines. The landscape is definitely changing, and fast.